what demand forecasting is. And it's basically, here you can see like the daily demand for bike sharing data set, where typically you would consider this historical demand, and then you would try to predict future demand. And demand forecasting is being done across a variety of industries, like retail and e-commerce, where demand forecasting is crucial to manage inventory, avoid stockouts, and also in manufacturing. Demand forecasting is used to plan production cycles, but also hotels, airlines, travel companies, they use demand forecasting so that they can do better pricing, and also utility, energy companies, healthcare, telecommunications, and even agriculture, where demand forecasting would be a use case applied to yield production of crops. So it's really, really industry agnostic. And typically, if we look at the demand forecasting use case, there is some specific terminology to bear in mind. And I've visualized some of the core concepts, one of which is the forecast horizon, or the forecast window, or the prediction horizon. And that's basically how far along in the future that we want to make our prediction. So imagine that we here have inference time. So when we make a prediction with a model, if we then want to predict for the next month, or for the next few days, or for the next few weeks, that is what's considered the forecast horizon. And the length of the forecast horizon depends on the specific needs of the business and the industry that it operates in. And for instance, in industries where production lead times are very long, like automobile or aircraft manufacturing, the horizon might be several months or a year. And in contrast with fast-moving consumer goods or online retail, forecast horizons might be very short, like days or weeks. And it's very important that this forecast horizon aligns with decision-making processes in business. That means if you want to take decisions with regards to your inventory on a weekly basis, then this forecast horizon should also be on a weekly basis. We also have the forecast lag or a gap, and that usually has to do with the freshness of the data or the recency of the data. If we have the inference time here when we make a prediction, usually it takes a little while before all of the data or the previous sales have come in. And that is basically the lag, or it might be that you make a prediction today that we're using data from last week. And typically the accuracy of the forecast decreases with the length of the horizon. So that means that the error goes up over time. This is of course due to uncertainty and variability over long periods. Customer demand is also not static. And therefore it's common practice to regularly, as new data becomes available, to update your forecasts and also to potentially update your machine learning models. And when we look at the training window, that is basically the data that is being used to generate a forecast model. And the training window is how far we look back in time to our observations. It might be that we use training data that is a year old, or 2 years, or 3 years. And then we also have to specify like a window size. And this has also to do with how far we look back in time, but more on the level of when we create features. For instance, if we create lags, that means sales of yesterday or the week before, and how far we look specifically for those features back in time, that's the window size. And then the training window is basically how many data points of the past do we include in our training set. And usually demand forecasting can be at different levels. We can make forecasts product level, or product category level, or SKU level, or even at store level. And if we look at features typically that we include in a demand forecasting model, it might be time-based features to capture trends or seasonal effects, and holidays, events, and features that capture promotion or discount events, product description or information, and of course, what's very important, the past sales or the lagged features. And these tend to have lots of impact, and there's also lots of information contained into the sales from last week or the demand from months before.